wopila hechalo trunkachela. Analewana omani chunki octicale trunkachela. Ata kuku imungla coctihena trunkachela. Lea petuke woka nedevaste unichila pelot trunkachela. Hechalungana wo preta carro que está aí, nós o que é esse caminhão que está aí, truncache lá, na tanha é chum pelo truncache lá, naquele todo rio que ele é peito que truncache lá, o que na vitrosa ne waste uniche lá pelo truncache lá, na le peito que ele na o che hoa lo, o me tá que eu assim.
Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey 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 yo, 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 hey oh, ah, shela ya pe, hawa pa na. Oh, hey, honky, she lay no she hello. Hey, oh, platewa. Oh, ya, take ya. We change a cha. Let chum well, oh, yo. Oh, lama.
Okay, council, we have a number of council reps that need to be excused. We have Bill. He's getting ready for his community activities for his powwow this weekend. Got Norman running senior. He's on spiritual leave. Raymond Croigo training. Cher Wright Plank training. Jordan Ron training. Wayne's online. Steve Brave is medical. And I think Mike Lunderman needs to be excused. Is there anybody else that needs to leave early or needs to be excused for today? Now we need a motion to approve excuses.
Are they going to have a meeting tomorrow or no?
Tomorrow?
Well, if you are, I want to be excused for tomorrow because I have a medical appointment in Rapid City.
No, we won't have one tomorrow. Okay, need a motion for the excuses. Fremont, second by Martha, question by Tennille. All in favor, approving excuses.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Online, Eileen?
Yes.
Yes.
Wayne? Yes.
Yes.
Opposed?
0,
Not voting?
0, 11, 0, 0.
Motion carried. Okay, last meeting, we got off our agenda. We was on the officers' reports, and we got on and we listened to the BIA. And then we got on to communities a little bit, but we need to go back to our reports, the officer reports. Vice President was next on the agenda. Vice, are you ready for your report? Okay.
Yes, I am. Good morning, Council. For the month of June, we assisted 71 people through my office. That was all the way from food vouchers to we're still doing a little bit of propane. Trying to run that account out, get it done with. But we assisted 71 people all total. 20 of those were, like I said, were propane, and they got propane. Family members. Community and youth-related events, we assisted 7 different people, burial committees, ball committees, and things like that. So there's 7 of those. We did 31 tribal IDs. And the last month or two, my ladies back in my office have been helping with that native eye clinic that comes over to the college. So they, I think they assisted 620 people with applications, and 600 and some people got glasses. They're supposed to be here on July 27th and 28th to start dispersing the glasses, but my ladies in there have already been doing that. So people are coming through my office picking up their glasses, but the rest of them will be distributed on July 27th and 28th. So we were really busy back there. I'm glad we had Keith helping, because the phones really went off the wall when people could get their eye appointments. So Keith helped us a lot back there. We've been in office, about 10 months now since election, something like that, I guess, going on 10 months. But I haven't traveled or anything, so I had some money in my travel budget, and I got with the finance people, and we moved that around, and I put it over into a kind of a plumbing type of assistance. I'm going to use that excess travel money to see if we can kind of alleviate some of the plumbing problems that we get calls on every day. We get way more than we'll be able to handle, I know that, but we're going to go as far as we can on that amount of money. I got a young guy that came in, and he first job he done was one out at North. And then, while we were out there, we got a request for some plumbing to be done out there. So that's where he's at now. And then about the same time, the community chairperson out there called and was trying to get some gravel, certain parts of the community out there. So I'm trying to get that coordinated with Mr. Jordan, the sand and gravel director. Try to go out and take care of some of them spots, washouts and things like that on the east side of the highway there at Black Pipe. So that's a little project we're working on, gives us something more to do. So we're a little busier back there. We're going to go with that plumbing as far as the money takes us, and then I guess we can maybe come and see if we can get some more funding or whatever. We'll see how that plays out. So does anyone have any thoughts or questions, comments, complaints? We'll take them all, whatever you have. Zero.
Good morning, council. I think that what you did with your travel account is really awesome. And that's a lot of the calls that I get are plumbing issues. So
They really are.
so I'm really happy about that. And I just wanted to tell you thank you, because I know that there's a lot of families that probably watching this on TV and probably getting happy. So thank you, Willie.
I guess I don't look at it, but somebody was telling me that on Facebook we kind of caught hell for our what was the money we got? Honorarium, yeah. But I figure that's a good place for it to go in that little account. So I don't feel too bad about taking mine. So folks listening out there, I'm going to use as much of it as I can for that. So I know we won't go very far with this, but we'll take it to the end. Do the best we can. I know the water resource program up there, there's no way they can handle the number of calls they get. They just can't. I don't even know if they got a crew anymore. They had 2 people for a while, but I think they might be down I don't know if they have funding that's available, maybe not, but I know they have trouble keeping a crew to do that, so they're just overwhelmed, so we'll do the best we can, so.
Thank you. Move
That's
to
all
approve.
I have to report, other than the powwow this weekend, Lisa, coming to your town, so. We will be there to feed on Saturday.
There was a motion by Wayne to approve the vice's report if he's done.
I am done.
Okay. Second by Lisa, question by Dara. All in favor?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Online, Eileen? Wayne?
Yes.
Donna?
Yes.
11,
Opposed?
0,
Not voting.
1.
Motion carries. We are on the secretary's report.
Chairman,
Yeah.
did you finish your report?
Yeah, well, I had one more thing that I need to bring back up. We can do that before we go to the secretary's report. We had a easement agreement that we did with CenturyLink, and I guess the amount of years that we were required, they wanted to up that to 20 years. And so I was going to ask the council to reconsider resolution 215, 2022, 215, and amend it to a period of 20 years, subject to renewal or renegotiation after that. They said that they're putting a lot of money into it, and there's a lot of services that they provide that were just like two residential houses, that they just needed a longer agreement for those rights of ways. I took it to Land Natural yesterday. I think they made a motion to bring it to council today. Is that correct, Russell?
Bring what?
CenturyLink easements back as far as our 20-year agreement for the rights of ways. So I'd like some discussion on that. If not, I'd like to entertain a motion to reconsider and amend the agreement between CenturyLink Lumen Technologies, Albuquerque, New Mexico, to a 20-year agreement for their rights of ways.
Chairman, what was the first amount, the years of agreement?
10 years, and once we told them that we had agreement for 20 years, that they said that, no, 10 years, that they said that wasn't long enough. I kind of told them that maybe they should have told us when we had our meeting that that's what the amount of time that they were looking at. But they didn't really say, so they were saying that's kind of a deal breaker if they don't get any longer than 10 years or a 20-year agreement. So I told them I'd bring it back to council today, and I'd let them know by the end of the week. And they're waiting for some type of letter or to proceed with their improvements as far as what they're doing.
Thank you.
2022-215. That was the one where we put in we filled in the blank with 18 cents per foot for parcels of trust land the Rosebud Sioux tribe either owns or is the majority owner of for a period of 10 years. We need to change that to 20 years. Russell?
Yes, we had a discussion on this yesterday, and we forwarded to the council for discussion and or approval. And, you know, I know you guys have been negotiating with CenturyLink. I think we got the rates from 9 cents to
18 cents, yeah. Yeah.
almost double. But on the other hand, we also said that we need somebody within our departments to get a handle on this because none of us know, we're not out there doing the corridors, so we don't know how wide it's going to be, the digging or the actual digging of the corridor. We don't know that, and so we don't know the figures. We just rely on their expertise.
Right.
But I think we need somebody on our side just to make sure that whatever ground they disturb, what they pay for. And so we also recommended that, and I think the Sioux office said they have an employee who can step up and do that for us on our end.
Yeah.
And just finding out what happened with, for the longest time, we didn't know who CenturyLink was, what they were trying to do here on our, within our boundaries of our tribal grounds, right? Find out that they really had a lot of input in submitting that grant that we have pending right now. I didn't know that up until the time we had a meeting with them just recently. But they are the expertise, and I think down the road, when we get that grant, we're going to have to rely on their expertise because we don't have it. We're not going to be able to purchase some of the fiber optic material that we may be needing, and they have access to that. So it's something that we're really, we got caught between a rock and a hard place. But in order for us to move forward, I kind of wanted some discussion here, kind of direction. I guess it's going to take them that long to kind of recover that 20-year.
And that was the whole purpose of them wanting to increase the amount of years. So that was, they're putting a lot of money into it. And sometimes there's just a few residential homes that they have to serve, and they have to go a long ways to do it. So that was their justification for wanting the lease longer.
And we did tell them also that we did talk about that yesterday, was the Bureau certainly needs to be involved in all this.
Yeah.
Simply because there are some private landowners in that area, and they have to look out for their best interest too. And so we cannot, the Bureau needs to be involved in that to protect the landowner's rights in terms of what we're trying to do. So we did have a discussion on that yesterday, and we forwarded here for discussion. If we decide to approve that, then that resolution, to make sure that we do it today. We're kind of running out of time.
Yeah.
So if there's any questions, now is the time to ask. And if you don't want to go there, we won't go there. But if you want to go ahead and proceed, then we will. I'll make a motion to amend that resolution in that sense.
Okay, so a motion to reconsider and amend 2022-215. Need a second? Is Pam, second? No. Dara? Pam, got a question, comment?
Good morning, Administration Council. First of all, I guess, what is our law and order code say for leases? I mean, how long are we allowed by ordinance to approve?
They vary. There's some of them that we back in the 70s where we actually would consider them perpetual agreements, meaning that they just keep renewing themselves. So there's not really anything that says that we can, I mean, that sets a amount of time for agreements like this.
Is there reason why there's not no kind of, or why there isn't anything in place in the ordinance?
I don't know. I guess
So whose department is in charge of that?
of the leasing department easements, that's the BIA. The BIA does that for us, and then they bring it to Land and Natural, and then they get them approved by Land and Natural, and then once they're approved, they usually give the permission to proceed with whatever their project is.
So, and does the BIA ever question why we give certain companies, whatever you called it, they're just ongoing leases versus homeowners and whatever our tribal members, why they have to keep renewing their leases?
That's something we talked about, Pam, is that we need to sometime be able to negotiate these agreements for easements and rights of ways. And sometimes we give them too far down the line. We never go back and renegotiate. So we thought we would do this with this one here, but the project they have, they wouldn't be able to recover within that period of time. So they were asking for a longer agreement. So it just depends on the project, I guess.
Mr.
The
Chair.
other last question I have is, in their agreement, have they spoke of repairs to the lines or anything? Are they the ones that are going to continue the maintenance on them?
Yeah.
Is there going to be a cost to our tribal members that utilize that service?
They service the southern part of and the eastern part of out by Hidden Timber in that area, and then part of Lakeview area, and they are bringing services to the village. And part of their project is to bring fiber optics to the village and maybe possibly the casino, if that's what they wanted to do. But right now, they already have a service. They're just upgrading it to fiber optics, and they got a $2 million grant to do that. And so they need and they're paying all the fees, technical fees, everything else that's required of them to be paid. And they just wanted a little bit longer time for this agreement for their easements and rights of ways.
Okay, so they will maintain the lines?
Yes,
that
they do.
put in.
That's part of their agreement.
Thank you.
So, Wayne?
20 years is pretty much an industry standard when you start talking about utilities and rights of way. One thing that could be possibly talked about is if you wanted to do a 10, a 5, and a 5, and at the year 15, if everything is both parties are still in compliance and happy with the deal, then there's just an automatic renewal for another 5. But 20 is pretty typical.
20 years. No, there's 20. Any more discussion, comments? If not, I'll call for the question.
Wayne question.
Wayne, questions. All in favor?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Online, Eileen?
Yes.
Wayne?
Yes.
Donna?
Yes.
10,
Opposed?
0,
Not voting?
2.
Motion carried. I didn't have a whole lot on my report from last week. That was kind of conclusion of my report. Does anybody have any questions? Pam?
Yes, Chairman, I think I want to make a motion to, or not even a motion, but I'd like for you to get with Land Committee or whoever would handle the ordinance dealing with the land we need to start having this, these types of guidelines put into our law and order code. And it's for the protection of the future of our people. You know, we're supposed to look 7 generations ahead. And so I think that we need to start doing stuff like that instead of the norm of it's always been done that way. So I think we need to direct somebody to work on that. Thank you.
Okay, Pam, I'll do that. Fremont. Oh, you making a motion? Or you just, no, you don't have to make a motion. I'll just do it. Okay. Is there any other questions? Go ahead, Russell.
It's too early to open up a can of worms, but I think part of one of our meetings, you know, we, in good faith, you know, we all took a drug test, and that was supposed to be advertised so our general public knows. I didn't see anything coming out, and if it did, then I missed it, you know. So
yeah,
I don't know where you're at with that, since one of our meetings.
Yeah, we
requested that.
we took all the results that we had, and we did put it on our communications site. The secretary's office sent it out. I think you even got it published, didn't you? Basically, so it was sent out, Russell.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm not savvy with this,
Okay.
you know, but I guess if it's out, I can understand that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, if that's no more question, we'll move on to, go ahead, Pam.
Sorry, Chairman. Going back to the safety of dams director. I think that's been advertised for about a month now.
Yeah.
Has there been any new applicants?
I haven't checked, but I guess the request was when the next applicants apply, they had to make sure that they were actually qualified for the job according to the job description. So, and I think it required some type of degree, but I have to get clarification on that because I think there was some type of loophole to hiring somebody without a degree. But I'll have to get a clarification on that. So,
Okay, thank you.
okay, Russell and then Lisa.
Yeah, April or
Yeah.
because I think we assigned it to personnel committee to either revise their job advertisement. I'm not sure if they did that or.
I'll follow up on that. Yeah.
That was a potential, that was a issue.
Yeah.
There were people that were qualified, right?
I think it was required some type of engineering degree, but as far as the job description, it's mostly maintaining around dams and that kind of stuff and clearing them out and stuff. So it wasn't really. I don't think that they really needed an engineer degree to do that job. So I'll get clarification on that and bring it back to next meeting with whoever has applied since then. Lisa?
Good morning, Council and Administration. Last week when BIA was here, they said the only program that they haven't received a semi-annual report from was safety of dams.
Okay.
That was for FY 2021. That was due on October 15th, 2021. So I don't know, that narrative is part of the 638 that is needed for the 638 contract. So I don't know if you have anything that Bob turned in or.
I did have the acting safety of dams director go over and work with Ken Ledoux, and I think they did do that first one from October to the 3-month period, and it's like a quarterly report narrative. So I think the next one's due too, so I have to do the next
They
one.
haven't received anything since July
Yeah,
1st.
so I'll send them over there again, make sure it gets done.
Okay.
Okay. Dara?
I kind of feel that maybe we should wait until somebody does have a degree because we're in a drought right now. And as it is, a lot of our programs don't have people who are qualified in them positions. And we're overlooking a lot of tribal members who do have degrees and who do take that time to go to school and educate themselves. With a program that hasn't been accountable for several years, we probably need that due for grants for the 638. If we want that funding to continue, then we need to hire someone that can do the job and do it correctly instead of just winging it. So I feel that we should wait until there is an engineer that can do this. I know that they're here on the reservation. We just don't accept their resumes. So I feel that safety of dams, we do need to re-advertise that, because if you go around the res and you look at all the dams, there's not a lot happening. Also, there's some young people that if they are provided gas money and water or Gatorade, they want to go to all the lakes. They want to start at beads and they just want to go around. There's a lot of excess dumping. I know down by Horse Creek, Fremont, you can attest to that. There's a lot of dumping trash up and down the river. It's our own tribal members doing that. You can go through their trash and look at their mail. You know, they're throwing that all away. Dirty Pampers. And, you know, you'd think that they would know better than to just throw a Gaka Pamper out instead of wrapping it up and putting it away. There's a lot that, you know, my generation and younger, we didn't learn that well from our older generation. Not, you know, it could be the boarding school. There's so many things that we blame. But the fact is, we need to step up and take that role on ourselves. So I don't know how we're going to do that, but with Beads Dam, Chases, every one of them, there's just nothing but beer cans, Pampers. They're even, you know, if we can't put a porta potty at those places, you know, make an outhouse, because they're taking Gakas and they're going bathing right there at the dam where our kids are supposed to be jumping in. And it's pretty hard. Our forest took a hit with that fire and it's going to replenish itself. It already knew that it was hurting. And so that fire came and it's a blessing. So I think that maybe we as legislators should take on that role and hire somebody with the capacity that can take on the reservation, the safety of dams and all the projects and get us back up to par. Thank you.
Okay, we'll bring that back to council next meeting. I'll let you know where it's at and what they done with the job description, or if they changed it, or what they're working on. Any more questions on my report? Now I'll turn it over to the secretary.
You make a motion to approve your report?
Motion by Vanessa.
Yeah. It's my motion.
Motion by Vanessa, is second. Second by Lisa. Question by Pam. All in favor?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Online, Eileen? Wayne?
Yes.
Donna? She went off.
Eileen, yes.
10,
Opposed?
0,
Not voting?
1.
Motion
10, 0, 1.
Motion carried. Okay, secretary.
All I have is the minutes for June. And then we have a vacancy on the social service committee. We had one resign at large member, so I'll have to advertise for that. And then just give you an update on the youth day. That's gonna happen on Friday. I think it's pretty much, I think I got 9 or 10 programs committed. They're gonna set up booths. We're gonna start with a parade at 10. It'll work out. Hopefully you guys can all come pop up. Lisa.
Last year it was a really good one. We had those little guys, Funny Bone and Mike Bone, and it turned out pretty good. The kids really liked the the entertainment part of it. They liked the inflatables. There's a lot of activities going on up there last year. It turned out really good. Just hopefully we can have another good one like that this year. Lisa, on that, Pam?
Madam Secretary, if, I did make that motion that any East Reservation tribal members can call your office and get $100 gas to come out here for the Youth Day. So I don't know if you want to put that on an announcement or maybe on your Facebook page.
We're gonna add in there, then I have transportation and have those.
But maybe you can put it on so they can get their checks before Friday. And then, on June 2nd, there's one amendment. I was present on that day. As you read down, I read in 7 resolutions. That's the only amendment I have on that.
Move to approve.
Any more questions for the secretary? Pam?
Chairman, before we move on to approving minutes, I guess on June 2nd, I just had one question. Under Education Committee, motion by Jordan Ron to approve election to coincide with community chair election for St. Francis Indian School Board. 2 positions, affidavits in July with election in August. Second by Eileen, question by Steve Brave. The vote was 12 in favor, 0 opposed, 0 not voting. Motion carried. That's for the 2 at-large seats for the board, right? For the school board?
Yeah.
And has that been advertised so that people know that?
I don't know who would respond back to that. I guess I'd have to call St. Francis to get that, unless Nicole wanted to make a comment on it. I know she's a board member, but she's also the secretary, so she.
I would like to make
those
a comment.
positions, or are they going? Or Donna?
Actually, in our education report, I was going to bring up.
Okay. Keith said they're taking affidavits till the 29th of this month. Oh. Is that correct, Donna?
Okay. Also, I wanted to bring up, if you guys Google CFR 200.400, the school funds are not pay for the whole election. It's a large, and so, and it's gonna, if tribal ed can pay half of that because it's isolated from the students, whereas if it was the way it would, be the election board sent in is really high, and with that CF that protects schooling into election, education committee to pay half of that. No, with the elected.
I think in the past, what Donna's talking about is paying, from what I caught, it sounds like she's talking about paying for the election, but being that it used to coincide with our council seat elections. So I think part of that was their monies that they received for affidavits or whatever was just turned in to the tribe, and that's what they used to help pay for the elections. I don't know if I'm correct or not. But.
I know St. Francis did contact me just a few days ago, just saying they needed to set up a meeting on the election process. So I think that's probably one of their items that they need to discuss as far as how much the election is going to cost and who's going to pay for it. So I guess there's amount to the election, and I don't know if it's electronic if they do that same thing, it's pretty expensive. So,
So going back to that, I mean, according to this, the affidavits close here in about a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that we probably need to deal with now, because people that are putting in affidavits are probably wanting to know since we're having this discussion, probably want to know what we're doing.
right.
So I don't know, maybe Madam Secretary can probably have somebody research on how it's been done in the past with the St. Francis School Board and get back to us before we adjourn today or recess today. Thank you.
Chairman, the school paid for it in the past, but it wasn't such a large amount as it is now. And reading that CFR, I think will really help us understand that the students' money cannot be taken away from them because it decreases what they need at the school. And I really think that, yes, a meeting should happen because tribal ed needs to pay for half. Sorry about that.
Okay, Lisa, did you have a question earlier? Comment?
Yeah, I just had I don't know if it needs a motion or not, but I do have a lot of East Reservation tribal members from Ideal, Bull Creek, and Melts Camp that are calling in and wanting to, that need assistance for medical purposes, or they'll call the secretary's office or the social services office and they're denied because they won't allow over the phone applications. So, I mean, they're facing a hardship as it is, and for them to come all the way over and apply and go all the way back home, they're needing the extra gas money. So I don't know. I'll make a motion to allow the secretary's office and social service to do online or on the phone applications. And I mean, they could utilize a fax machine and fax in their verification too, but I've been handling a lot of those requests, turning them in, and I get the calls because they won't allow them over the phone and they don't have the gas money to come over and apply. So I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion on the floor, second by Fremont. Janelle, do you have a question? Or are you questioning it? Donna, go ahead.
I understand. Did critical that they won't take their verification because the same thing over the.
Donna, you keep breaking up. We're having a hard time hearing you.
Thank you. I'll vote for it.
Okay. Tennille, Fremont, and Tennille question. So all in favor?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Online, Eileen?
Yes.
Wayne?
Yes.
Donna? Not voting.
10.
Opposed, not voting.
0. Not voting. 2.
Motion carried.
Can I have a comment with Nicole's report here?
Go ahead, Eileen.
I just wanted to mention that we'll be having Billy Graham's grandson is going to be coming to the rodeo grounds on the 23rd of July, and that's the next day from Nicole's youth day. They will also have a kids fest similar to Nicole's, so I wanted to announce everyone's welcome. There will be a concert for the youth, a rapper, they'll like that, and then after that will be for everyone else. That there'll be another band that will come, and Will Graham will speak after that. So, and we did ask Scott to do the opening presentation. So I just wanted to announce that, invite everyone, but let everyone know, bring the kids, they'll feed also, and it'll be a good time. That starts at 3:00. Thank you.
Thanks, Eileen. Is there any more questions for the secretary? We still, did everybody get a copy of the meeting minutes for July? June? If there's no questions on the meeting minutes, I will entertain a motion to approve the June meeting minutes. Fremont, motion, second by Tennille. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
We got 12.
Question, what is column as not voting?
Clean, yes.
Question by Vanessa. All in favor?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Online, Eileen?
Yes.
Wayne?
Yes.
Donna?
Yes. Yes.
Opposed?
0,
Not voting?
3.
Motion carried.
Mr. Chair, I have a motion.
Go ahead, Wayne.
This Thursday is the first fire drill that will be conducted in cooperation with the IHS, and the RST VFD will be carrying out that fire drill. It'll be from 9 to noon on Thursday, and I need to request admin leave to be granted to 2 tribal employees, Corey Davis and Keith Randall.
Okay, we'll do it. I'll get a hold of their supervisors and let them know.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anything else for the secretary?
I have some questions. Walking around out there. Oh, can I get the floor?
Yep, go ahead, Pam.
On June 8th minutes. Motion by George and Ron to have TUC present dollar amount to fine Golden West Telecommunications on June 22nd, 2022. Second by Ray. Did we ever get anything back on that or no?
I kind of needed clarification on that. I don't know what they were fining him for.
I think it was for doing the lines without getting the right of ways passed.
Oh, I think they were in compliance. When we looked into it, they were in compliance. So according to the Bureau that they're ready to proceed, so.
Okay. And then here. And then on June 30th, there's a motion by Russell Eaglebear to approve resolution number 2022-189 sawmill project in the amount of $174,920.93 for the forestry program. I remember I raised the question on if Two Strike knew that they were receiving or the sawmill was going to be put in their community. And Councilwoman Hollhorn Bear had stated that nobody had gone to the community. And it did pass. I think that maybe the forestry director should probably get out there and probably visit with Two Strike community on that. I mean, even though we passed the resolution already,
I think he should.
we were kind of like falsely told that it had happened. So, the other one was, the one question I have was from June 30th. It's motion by Russell Eaglebear to approve resolution number 2022-190, identifying the max number of acres that can be enrollment through project for land. What does that mean? I second it, but I can't remember what exactly that meant.
I'm not sure what it means either. I guess you have to ask the mover. I'm not sure what it means.
It was to identify, Mr. Chair. It was to identify max usable acres for the CPET program, where we get money for subsidies for kind of like that grass program. It's kind of the same deal that the tribe's enrolling in.
So does that mean that, I'm just trying to refresh my memory, but so does that mean that, if you're already leasing land, you're allowed to lease more under this resolution? Wayne,
can you answer that?
Say that again.
I said, so does that mean that if you're already leasing land, are you allowed to lease more under this resolution?
No, it's the tribe wants to identify lands to enroll in the program at NRCS that you get subsidy payments for leaving it grass. The leaser doesn't have anything to do with it. The tribe's trying to enroll acres in getting then they get the subsidy payments.
Grazing and get them determined. Apply for some grants, like the farm service and stuff. Yeah, so to strengthen them a little bit.
Oh, okay. Madam Secretary may want to follow up with that resolution or the wording on that minutes in order for it to be understandable, because these are a matter of record, so.
Yeah, it's not CRP. It's not CRP. It's like CREP or something like that. Miss Secretary.
Deviation and all.
Okay. Oh, yeah, the wording.
Yeah, the way it's worded, it needs to be corrected to reflect all of that. And Chairman, if there's no other questions on the minutes, I'll move to approve June 2nd, June 8th, June 9th.
He's out of the room too long. We already did it.
Oh, did you guys? Oh, geez, so whoever the mover was, can they amend it to put those amendments?
I just told her as amended, so.
Okay. Well, gee, thank you. I didn't even need to be here.
Okay, is there any more questions for the secretary? If not, we need a motion to approve her report. Martha? Second by Pam. Question by Fremont. All in favor?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Online, Eileen?
Yes.
Wayne?
Yes.
Opposed?
0.
Not voting?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Motion carried. Okay, we, sounds like treasurer's running late, so we'll come back to his report. We did a little bit of community business on, the last meeting. Is there any more community business?
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead, Wayne.
I move to deviate.
Motion
I
to
wanna
deviate.
to the health board resolutions. Because that's time sensitive to be done by tomorrow.
Medicaid expansion. They need the Medicaid expansion resolution for tomorrow.
Okay, motion to deviate to health board. Second by Pam. Any question? Damon, all in favor?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Online, Eileen?
Yes.
Wayne?
Yes.
11,
Opposed?
0,
Not voting?
0.
Motion carried. Okay, we are on Health Board resolutions. Wayne, are you traveling tomorrow? Or someone from the Health Board going to that
Yes, sir.
conference?
Yes, I am, and Tennille's going as well.
Okay.
Is the resolution on the table?
We're looking right now, Wayne.
Okay, because yeah, Eric had to make those changes, and he said he put it out there. Thanks.
Even for grants. Might see what Kim has. This one is for Rosebud Concrete for the new health admin building. This one is to turn over the mobile unit to the Veterans Affairs Program. And this one is for capital expenditures from the proceeds of tax exempt or tax favored debt obligations.
It's in here from July 1st.
Madam Secretary, can you check during our emergency legislations on our first day of council meeting of the 13th? I believe that may have gotten passed under the chairman's report, or I may have brought it on as another emergency legislation.
No, Eric, we're looking for the resolution.
I know it's in our
for,
emails, but we should
the
have a
meeting
paper
tomorrow.
copy.
For the expansion of Medicaid. Did you guys, was drafting a resolution and in support of that? That amendment?
Let me look.
Okay.
I just sent you an email, Michael.
Okay, let's bring some of those other ones while they're looking for it. Let's bring those other ones on.
I just picked them up.
Oh. While we deviated, might as well get them done.
I think we already passed that one for transferring that mobile unit over to
Veterans?
veterans. We did that one already. And then
So,
Just leave them there. We referred that one from Health Board.
so there's three resolutions, two emergency legislation resolutions on the health board, and that those are the two right there. Pass off the resolutions. Okay. Go ahead and pass them out.
Where's that third one? Here it is. Yeah. And Chair, the health board meeting scheduled for Thursday will be canceled because we do have 4 directors that are up at the Indian Health Board meeting up in Rapid. Motion for emergency legislation.
Motion by Lisa for emergency legislation. Do you need a number? 220. Need a second? Dara? Question by Fremont. All in favor?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Online, Eileen?
Yes.
Wayne?
Yes.
11,
Opposed?
0,
Not voting.
0.
Can somebody, send that through text?
It's in your email.
Motion approved 2022-220.
I don't have it in my email.
Need a second? Fremont?
So we didn't move this on the 13th?
On what?
Proof, yes, read it.
What 13th? On July 13th?
Chairman was doing emergency legislation resolutions and this was one of them.
Okay, I'll withdraw.
I don't remember doing it.
I mean, no, it wasn't you who did it. It was, I'm the one that brought it on because we were doing emergency legislations for resolutions.
Okay, well,
But I'm saying she should look and see if there was anything in there.
she kicks these resolutions out right after the meeting, so usually by the second day, she's has them on my desk. So she's pretty good about finishing them, so this is not one of them, right?
Alright.
Okay, so they're still on the floor, unless you want to withdraw.
I'll withdraw till we look at the legislative procedures and get the right resolutions that need to be read in.
Okay, all right. Is there any more for health board?
I don't know about these other ones. I don't think this one was read in, or I don't know. And then these ones aren't none of these ones that I have are the Medicaid ones, so.
Okay, he's checking on it right now. But since we're on health board, we deviated, we might as well finish them. So are we done with health board?
Again.
Okay, let's go back to communities. Did you find the resolution?
The resolution to support Medicaid expansion and Great Plains.
Yep. Okay. Give it to Lisa, or give it to Sarge so she can pass it. We deviated from the agenda to get to that one. One.
Those already read in time?
We still approve it as emergency legislation. It's just not approved. Okay. Are you gonna bring it on?
Did we read this one in yet? This Medicaid one?
No, this is just now brought to us. That's why we deviated.
Motion for emergency legislation.
Yes.
So is that other,
We
the
just,
one that I withdrew, is that number still active, or we put that number on this? 220.
Then it stayed 50.
On that?
On that VA one? Yeah.
Okay. So this will be, or, it'll be 221.
motion by Lisa for emergency legislation. Need a second. Pam, Question by Fremont. All in favor?
All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Online, Eileen?
Yes.
9,
Wayne?
Yes.
10,
Opposed?
0,
Not voting?
1.
Motion approved 2022-221.
Need a second? Pam?
Start at the fourth, whereas the Rosebud Sioux Tribe is a member of the Great Plains Tribal Leaders Health Board, tribal organization that is composed of 17 tribes and 1 Indian Health Service area in the 4-state region of South Dakota, North Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Whereas federally recognized Indian tribes have an absolute right to health care from the federal government based on congressional acts, federal court decisions, and federal government's treaty and trust responsibilities to Indian tribes. And whereas Great Plains Tribal Leaders Health Board is primarily responsible for the health concerns and needs of the Indian tribes in the Great Plains area and Indian Health Service. And whereas Great Plains Tribal Leaders Health Board is an advocate for improving the health care for tribally enrolled members and is in support of the Medicaid expansion in South Dakota to bring affordable health coverage to 42,500 South Dakota citizens who currently do not have access, many of whom are tribally enrolled members. And whereas adoption of Amendment D will greatly benefit Native people as seen by states and have expanded Medicaid. In those states, IHS and tribal facilities saw increased revenues as a larger share of their patient gained coverage. In fact, the uninsured rate for non-elderly tribal citizens fell twice as much between 2013 and 2015 in states that expanded Medicaid compared to the rate for uninsured patients in states that did not expand Medicaid. And whereas revenue generated from expanded coverage offsets costs and enhances capacity to provide health services, Medicaid is also offered by federal government to the states by covering 90% of the share, while states cover $10. Okay. As amended, cover 10%. Currently, federal funds that are available to South Dakota are being utilized by states that have expanded Medicaid. Adoption of Amendment D will permit South Dakota to access to federal funds already available to the state and send tax dollars home for jobs and healthcare directly available to South Dakota citizens. And whereas the Rosebud Sioux Tribe joins the Great Plains Tribal Leader Health Board in support of Amendment D on the 2022 South Dakota ballot of the following section of Article 21 in the Constitution of South Dakota to expand Medicaid in the state. Subsection beginning July 1st, 2023, the state of South Dakota shall provide Medicaid benefits to any person over 18 under 65 whose income is at or below 133% of federal poverty level, plus 5% of the federal poverty for the applicable family size. As authorized by the federal law of January 1st, 2021, such person shall receive coverage that meets or exceeds the benchmark or benchmark equivalent coverage requirements, such as terms are defined by federal laws as of January 1st, 2021. No later than March 1st, 2023, the Department of Social Services shall submit all state plan amendments necessary to implement the section of the United States Department of Health and Human Services Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. And the state of South Dakota shall take all action necessary to maximize the federal financial assistance percentage in funding medical assistance pursuant to this section, and the section shall be broadly construed to accomplish its purpose and intent. If any provision in this section or application thereof to any person or circumstance is held invalid or unconstitutional, such invalidity or unconstitutionality shall not affect other provisions or applications of this section that can be given effect without invalid or unconstitutional provision or application. And to this end, the provisions of this section are severable, and whereas the language as stated above shall be added to the new section under Article 21 Constitution of South Dakota to provide health coverage to 42,000 South Dakota citizens who are currently uninsured, as well as expand and enhance healthcare services generated from revenue produced by Medicaid expansion for IHS and tribal healthcare facilities. Now therefore be it resolved that the Rosebud Sioux Tribe supports the initiatives to expand Medicaid in South Dakota, organized by tribes and tribal organizations such as Great Plains Tribal Leaders Health Board and South Dakota Decide. The Rosebud Sioux Tribe Assert Amendment D should be added to the South Dakota Constitution to benefit all tribal members, including the elderly and disabled, low-income families, as well as children and pregnant women who are eligible for Medicaid.
Okay, any discussion? Need a question? Tennille, all in favor?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Online, Eileen?
9.
Wayne, yes.
Opposed?
0.
Not voting.
1, 10, 0, 1.
Motion carried.
You do those other three then?
Yeah, let's do them.
Did you find anything?
Anything on them, or are they?
Pam said on the 7th.
Yeah.
I show that went through health board on the 7th. We referred it. Motion to refer the mobile unit to the veterans emergency legislation. That was on July 7th from the health board.
So that was, it made its way here on, there's no record for it being approved, so.
Okay.
Bring that back on for emergency, or, for approval.
Yeah.
Motion to approve 2022-220.
Picked up the copies.
Picked up the copies, I'll pass them back on.
Motion approved 2022-21. Or 220.
So you just, so your motion to approve it, need a second? Damon?
He said correct. I'll start at the 5th, whereas RST Ordinance 93-05, Section 6A delegates the Health Board the power to and duty to compose resolutions and ordinances pertinent to health, human services, and home improvement issues affecting the Rosebud Reservation. Whereas the Veterans Affairs Black Hills Healthcare System, a regional department of the Veterans Health Administration, has been approved for funding to support a full-time mobile health unit located on the Rosebud Reservation. Whereas the RST Tribal Veterans Affairs Program has been providing veteran support services to the RST veterans population and would like to expand support and health services that are offered through the use of a mobile health unit. Whereas the RST Health Administration agrees to transfer the green and white 40FL-XCR mobile health unit to the custody of the RST Veterans Affairs Program to support operation of a veterans mobile unit on the Rosebud Reservation. Therefore, be it resolved, the RST Health Board approves a transfer of custody of the green and white Farber 40FL-XCR mobile health unit from the RST Health Administration to the RST Veterans Affairs Program.
Any discussion? What happens if they paint it different color? Tennille, you got a question? Question by Tennille. All in favor?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Online, Eileen?
Wayne, yes.
10.
Opposed?
0.
Not voting.
1.
Motion carried.
Motion for emergency legislation.
Motion by Lisa for emergency legislation. Need a second. Pam? Question by Damon. All in favor?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Online, Eileen? Wayne? Opposed?
9, 0,
Not voting?
2.
Motion to approve 2022-222.
Need a second. Second by Vanessa.
And this resolution is for the foundation of the new health administration building. Quote is on the back there. I'll start at the fourth. Whereas the Rosebud Sioux Tribe Health Administration would like to contract with Rosebud Concrete Incorporated and use them as a sole source due to the urgency of the project, due to the great need for the health administration building. Now therefore it be resolved, the Rosebud Sioux Tribal Council approves a contract between the health administration and the Rosebud Concrete Incorporated for the total contract cost of $119,908 for the foundation of the, strike that out and put health administration building.
Amended. Any discussion?
Question.
Question by Pam. All in favor?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Online, Wayne?
Wayne, yes.
10.
Did we lose our
Lost their
quorum? Not voting?
0. Oh, 10, 0, 1. 10, 0, 1.
Motion carried. Pam?
Chairman, I guess my question is for Madam Secretary. Madam Secretary, when the last time we met, I thought I had made a couple of motions regarding LEAP and BWAP. I got those done, right? So there should be minute excerpts for that.
Yeah, because I was online then. What else had no?
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if we voted on it. That was kind of cut.
I just need to know because the director's needing the minute excerpts. Two, Chief. I'm Sergeant.
That went through. It got approved.
We did vote on those?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. All right, just making sure because the director's looking for the excerpt.
Motion for emergency legislation.
Okay. Number is 23. Motion by, for emergency legislation. Need a second. Pam? Question by? Vanessa? All in favor?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Online, Eileen?
Yes.
Wayne?
Yes.
11,
Opposed?
0,
Not voting?
0.
Motion carried.
Motion to approve 22-223.
Motion approved, second by Pam. Go ahead.
Whereas the United States Department of Treasury has promulgated final regulations under the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 as amended, the code that impose requirements on the Rosebud Sioux Tribe of the Rosebud Indian Reservation, South Dakota, the issuer, when it desires to reimburse itself for capital expenditures relating to the capital projects described herein from the proceeds of its tax-exempt or tax-favored debt obligations or other tax-exempt debt obligations issued on its behalf. And whereas the issuer has determined that it is necessary to construct, equip, and furnish a nursing facility for the issuer, collectively the project, and to finance the cost of such project with the proceeds of tax-exempt or tax-favored debt obligations to be issued by the issuer, or by an entity authorized to issue such obligations. And whereas the issuer anticipates that the issuer or an affiliate thereof will spend its monies to pay project costs, the per capital expenditures prior to the issuance of any tax exempt or tax favored debt obligations. Whereas issuers or such affiliate reasonably expects to be reimbursed for per capital expenditures with proceeds of tax exempt or tax favored debt obligations to be issued by the issuer or by an entity authorized to issue such obligations, the reimbursement debt in the maximum principal of $19,500, such plus such additional principal amount necessary to pay costs of issuance and to fund any revenues. And whereas the issuer expects the reimbursement debt, approximately $1,500, will be incurred and allocated to reimburse the prior per capital expenditures no later than 18 months after the date, the later of A, the date on which it pays the prior capital expenditures, or B, the date on which the project is placed in service, but not later than 3 years after the original date of such per capita expenditures, or C, such other date is permitted by law. And whereas the issuer finds it necessary to adopt this resolution to ensure that its declaration of intent to reimburse itself or any affiliate thereof for such prior capital expenditures satisfies the official intent requirement described in Treasury Regulations Section 1.150-2, the regulations. Now therefore be it resolved that the Tribal Council of the Rosebud Sioux Tribe of the Rosebud Indian Reservation, South Dakota, as follows. Section 1, the issuer hereby declares its official intent to reimburse itself or any affiliate thereof of the prior capital expenditures relating to the project out of the proceeds of the reimbursement debt to be issued by the issuer or by an entity authorized to issue such obligations on its behalf. With such declaration, the issuer hereby satisfies the official intent requirement of the regulations. Section 2, other than A, expenditures to be paid or reimbursed from sources other than the requirement debt. B, expenditures consisting preliminary expenditures within the meaning of 1.150-2, Section F, subsection 2 of the regulations, or C, expenditures in de minimis amount as defined in Section 1.150-2, Section F, subsection 1 of the regulations. No expenditures for the project have been paid by the issuer or an affiliate thereof more than 60 days prior to the date of execution of delivery of this resolution. This resolution does not constitute approval of any kind with respect to the issuance of the reimbursement debt or any other tax exempt or tax favored debt obligations, and does not legally or morally obligate the issuer or other entity to issue such obligations on its behalf. Section 4, this resolution shall be operative, effective, and valid upon its passage. This for the nursing home?
So I was going to ask, where did the resolution come from? Who wrote the resolution?
For what?
Who wrote the resolution? Where did it come from? Who presented it at the health board?
Skyla did.
Skyla did. Oh. Any discussion on the resolution? Now we need a question. Now, all in favor? Oh, second it. Daniil. All in favor?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Online, Eileen. Wayne.
Yes, Farlene.
And
Yes, Wayne.
11.
Opposed.
0.
Not voting.
0.
Motion carried. So that's it for health board.
That's it.
Okay, we can go back to
Thank you.
communities. Wayne? Oh. We'll go back to communities. Is there any business for communities, resolutions? Go to budget finance.
I have a question. Sorry I was late to raising my hand, but so like the Boca Community Trailer has been broken into and the windows were knocked out and the doors were kicked in. And that happened like back in April, I want to say. But who's going to repair those? What do we as a community have to contact to get those repaired?
I guess, who's over them? I guess that's the question. I had a request to go out and board one up the other day because there was somebody living in one of them and they didn't want it to be, they just wanted it boarded up. So I guess I was going to send the security out there to see if that's what they can do, but I didn't even know who to contact. So I contacted, the health administrator and she said she didn't know of anybody that was in there. I don't know who has the authority to board those up. Are they still under the council or who do we put them under?
Do you remember in the budget, what was left went into that line item to maintain those trailers? And that's kind of with our trailers, the windows are broken, the board's still on, and I was going to start inquiring with ARPA because they're the ones who put that money back into them, that line item for that reason. So we should start at ARPA.
So council, do you think it's a good idea to board them up while they're not occupied and when somebody goes in there to unboard them, or?
I know Bob boarded ours up, but I mean, like if we want to utilize it, it's been boarded up and we don't know who's going to repair the broken windows or the,
Okay. Well,
the doors.
Go ahead, Russell.
Yes, I'm assuming they're new building and shouldn't they have insurance coverage?
Like they should have insurance. I'll have to find that out. As far as I know, health administration was kind of in charge of those for a while. And the security was out there doing the security on them. And then all of a sudden, I think they were turned over to I don't know if they were turned over to the community themselves or who's even in charge of them.
Weren't they scheduled? Sorry, Mr. Chair. Wayne, weren't they scheduled didn't we put a tentative schedule up until September 1st when the bill was going to quit being paid and all those different properties were going to be decided by the community whether they wanted to manage them or we were going to figure out if we were going to move them and donate them or have SWA put them out on those abandoned houses in the communities? Wasn't that the talk? Was kind of September 1st was we were going to have to do something?
Yeah, that was a request from Grass Mountain. I think that they eventually go under their request was to go under when they went under the communities, they would have the option of using it for their youth. I think that's what the request was. But as far as I know, the health admin is still placing people in there as needed. I'm still thinking that they're probably the one to contact. So
Are they the ones that will be doing the trailer repairs?
that's something I'm gonna call them and ask them if they have a budget to do that. And it'd be a good question to ask if they still had insurance on them.
So the security that we've been paying for, why don't they go out and check? I thought that was their purpose, was to go check on those trailers.
That's what the purpose was.
And who oversees them?
It's right now it's Arnold Jordan.
Do they have a log on how often they go out to the communities and which communities they go to?
I haven't checked on it for a while. I'll have to see if they have a log, and I think they reduced the size of their security there for a while. So I don't know if they have as many on security as they did before.
I'll make a motion to get a report back on the 27th concerning the community trailers.
Okay.
Just overall report on who oversees them and especially the security too.
Okay. Second by Daryl. Question by Pam. All in favor?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Online, Eileen?
Yes.
10.
Wayne?
This one. Yes. Wayne, yes.
11.
Opposed?
0.
Not voting.
0.
Motion carried. And we had Martha with her hand up and then Dara. Martha, do you still want the floor?
Good morning, Council Administration. in reference to the trailers, when ours first got broke into, who's gonna be responsible for the lost or the stolen items that were taken from these trailers? And the other question that came up, or people that were asking in my community, was, what are they gonna do with these trailers? Are they gonna take them back? Is what the rumor was in our community, that they were gonna remove these trailers and put them in one spot. And I think it was like about a month ago, they came and started jacking up the trailer out there, and we asked questions who out there, but they didn't know, I don't know if they were redoing the foundation, trying to secure it down, or, so I said, if they're gonna remove these, I said, how come they're securing them? But no one could give me an answer on that. And then I was told, these trailers, the windows are really hard to find. I don't know where they purchased these trailers from, but the window in ours are broke also. And I think it's our back door that's also broke. They attempted to remove the washer out of there, and it didn't succeed, but they took a TV and damaged some of the inside stuff. But we were told the task force is the one that still owns these trailers till December 31st of this year. So we need answers on these trailers. If they're gonna remove them, get them out of our communities. Because I bet you the next high wind that comes through, they're not gonna have no trailers. They're the ones that go the most when these windstorms come. So, thank you.
Dara?
Yeah, I also just had a comment on that. For our community, they came in and they took the skirting off, and it's been about a month and a half, 2 months now that since they did that. And we're kind of worried about it because it's unoccupied. My community has started paying for the Wi-Fi there, just so we can keep it legit. That December 31st date, that's what we're going off of too. We would like to do something with that trailer for our community, whether it's for a family or for the youth. I do see it, just sitting there like a duck to get burglarized. I don't know who's taking care of them, but I do see random RST vehicles. I write their license plate numbers down too. My camera system at my home shines right onto that trailer, so when it gets someone over there, it beeps. And so I just have to go through my camera and look at what random times, but usually it's about 1:30 to 3 in the morning. They just pull in, they don't go in, they just pull in there. So must be a cruise to stay awake or something. But it'd be good to know what their purpose is. I asked about the skirting because I thought someone stole it. And I was told that they had put the cheapest of the cheap on it. And so they were going to take it off and put new on it. But nothing new has came yet. They took out a plum thicket to put that in. So you can only imagine the animals underneath the ground. Like she said, the next windstorm, I got elders in my community who could use help, with the wind, the elements. I have an elder whose wall is gonna probably fall in. I was told from the ARPA construction that program's here till 2025. Be patient. So I don't know how to tell my elders that, but they probably just not heard it right now. I don't know how to tell them to be patient till 2025 when the next storm could possibly cave their house in. It's already raining in most of their homes. Our Sioux 400s, there's a lot of them that are in decline, but yet, I don't know what's going on. But with the community trailer, people have been living in them. People have been doing what they want with them, burglarizing them, and they're just sitting there. So I think we probably should make some sort of decision on how we're going to administer them to the communities, because, they're just there, and it's kind of sad to see so much money spent on absolutely nothing. Thank you.
Okay, Lisa? And then Pam. Oh, sorry, Pam was before you, Lisa.
I believe these trailers were a discussion already. We put the trailers back underneath the health administration. Skyla's the one that's taking that on. She is having people go out and redo them skirting on them trailer houses. And yes, they are under the tribe until December of 2022, unless the regs change or guidelines change for CARES money. But it was extended till 2022. And I do know that she was working with Mr. Oliver, who at the time was taking care of security. So now I believe it's Mr. Jordan that she's probably working with regarding those. They are under their security detail. They are told to go out to the trailer houses and make sure that, you know, do their roundabout checks on them. So that's there. And I can't remember what else Martha had asked about the trailers. But I think, yeah, and then the repairs and stuff were to be reported to the health administration so that they can get somebody over there to look at them. But all that was done in council. So I don't know how we don't have that information, how people don't know about it, but all that was discussed in council. There was discussion on turning them back over to the communities, but right now we're not over this pandemic yet. And a lot of people are talking about our numbers rising. And we're going to run into that same problem again of people are going to be asking where they need to go. And that was the reason for these trailer houses. They are for this pandemic. So until December of 2022, those do belong to the tribe and they are being utilized for pandemic purposes. And our security team is doing a good job. Well, I say they're doing a good job. I don't know if the other community or the other reps are saying differently, but they are going out and checking on these trailer houses. So I guess that's my comment to some of the concerns that my colleagues have regarding the trailer houses.
Okay, we'll get that report for the 21st. We'll get who's in charge of them, if they have insurance on them, who's going to repair them, and we'll bring it back on the 21st. Okay? Okay. Lisa?
Just another thing under the communities too, you know, Rosebud Sioux Tribe owns that substation in Gregory. And we had it renovated. It has all new offices down there. Programs can go down there and utilize that when they want to do East Reservation outreach. The SGU, was it, I think it was GED program, was paying the light bill there. And then they moved to a different office in Gregory. So then they had Game Fish and Parks paying it, but Game Fish and Parks no longer hasn't had an office there. And so we've been coming up, you know, late on that light bill, and I just don't see why Frank should be paying that bill. Frank's program should be paying that bill when they're not utilizing it. So I'll just make a motion to put the tribal Rosebud Sioux Tribe substation light bill to be paid out of the general account for now. I know we do have some programs that wanted to utilize it in the past, but they haven't gone down there to open up an office. And if there are programs that do open up something down there, maybe they can share the utility bill.
Okay, there's a motion to put the substation light bill under the general account. Second by Dara. Question by Pam. All in favor?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Online. Eileen?
Yes.
Wayne?
Yes.
Donna?
Yes.
Ed,
Opposed?
0.
Voting
2.
Motion carried. Any more community business? Got a community member that'd like the floor back there.
Okay.
Go ahead, Pam.
Thank you, Pam. I was waiting for the community chairwoman to come down and to be here when we address these, but she's got some health issues that she has to leave for Sioux Falls. But anyway, we had a community meeting and the other night, last week, and we weren't able to get a quorum, and then, of course, our council rep isn't here. But there's an issue that's going on here, and it seems that I talked to some of you council people about this, and I guess, there is a concern about reactivating that police commission. There was an incident that happened at my house, and I'm not going to go into details. But now, after I start researching and checking into things here, there's several complaints that are going on with those police officers and that police department. And when you look at that ordinance, it's still in place. The police commission ordinance is still in place. It just needs to be activated. It needs to be advertised, because whoever gets on that police commission should be law trained. And I'm not saying, just a couple of courses of whatever, but they need to be law trained in order to really understand that contract. They need to understand the standards of conduct. They need to understand their role as a commission for taking in these complaints. Instead, we're being referred to District 1 in Aberdeen. And I know there's an internal investigation going on, what happened with my situation. But we should be able to come here and address those at the local level. And it seems like nobody wants to address, police officers. Don't be afraid of them. They're under this tribal council. You guys are up here, and they have laws, and nobody is above the law. And if they're not fulfilling their responsibilities to protect and serve, this tribal council needs to start asking questions why. Now we're finding out that the police commissions haven't even been approved by the Judiciary Committee, which is the proper process. So how legal are those arrests that they're making out there? And, I talked to you about this, Scott, and what was going to happen. And I talked to some of the council people thinking that, they're going to pick the ball up and start, working with it. But obviously, priorities are elsewhere. But you have problems out there with those officers. They parade around this whole reservation with 4 or 5 cars behind them, and they don't make any arrests. Another issue that's really a concern here is, I thought it was gang activity. Well, apparently the gang activity law has been considered unconstitutional by this body here. And they told me it's called rioting. So, do we condone physical violence in gang settings? There was a gang fight right up here at the church the other night. Somewhere along the line, those cops you hear so many things. You hear about officers raping women. That was a complaint I got the other night. And I told them I'm not going to say, I don't want to know who it is until they put it in writing. But a lot of people don't want to put anything in writing because nothing's going to be done. They're afraid of retaliation. And that's exactly what happens. Retaliation. Our people should be living in fear. Our people should be able to live in their own houses without any type of violence going on. It's really sad because our young people are seeing this. If people are going to be punished in tribal court, yet, they're being charged for harsher punishment in federal court. We should have an internal affairs office down here as well. But, that police commission can take control of that. I served on a police commission before. And I know those mental evaluations, psychological evaluations are not being done on this police department. I questioned the superintendent about it because she is responsible for signing off on that commission card as well as the president of the tribe. And that agreement was back in 2005 between the tribe and the Bureau. When they get these federal commission cards, there is a criteria of eligibility that they have to follow. The very last one on there is a mental, physical, psychological finding. Now, why hasn't it been done? How many officers up there are going to pass that evaluation? You know, when we worked with SGU on that, they did an excellent job because we found 3 officers that that weren't able to because they couldn't pass that evaluation. When I went to training at DCI, I asked the administrator that. He said, that is one of the requirements that they have. They have to have an mental evaluation before they even get on the road and get hired. So yes, you know, take this seriously. We've addressed this at our community level because we have many problems down there in Soldier Creek. And I'm sure that goes on all over this reservation. But I hear you guys holding these programs accountable. Things that need to be done, just like they mentioned safety of dams. Same thing with this police department. And we need to get that police commission activated so judiciary won't have to be listening to the complaints. I really disagree with that process that they have. And, you know, here I am. I went to the community and I went through the proper process, put in a request, but I won't be put on the agenda till next month. And, you know, the problem is still going to be there no matter what. So I told them, take me off the agenda. I'll just come straight to the community. I'll come straight to the council. Because it seems like our communities can have a little bit more say-so here. But anyway, I apologize for our not chairwoman for not being here because she has some other issues that do need to be addressed. But in the meantime, please, it just takes a simple motion. That ordinance is already in place, motion to activate that police commission and advertise it. The criteria is already in there on who's eligible. That way, these complaints can be properly addressed through that committee without it coming through the administration and without going through judiciary, because there's enough problems out there as it is to try and address. But, you know, I have confidence in this police commission that they do that. And when you start questioning, holding people accountable, I know how those officers are going to react. So, you know, it's needed. Long time ago, these officers had a lot of respect from the people because they used to stop in and check on grandma and grandpa and see how they're doing. Nowadays, they lock their doors and people take off from them. And it's not supposed to be like that. Here we are, we're supposed to be Lakota people, to take care and have compassion. But nowadays, with all the drugs, everything, the alcohol, the violence is getting worse. It's getting worse, and our children are seeing that. And, you know, every time there's a violent act going on, you know, these kids see that stuff. And they think it's okay because, oh, they're going to jail, they get out the same night, or, you know, they don't do anything. They take them to somebody else's residence, and at 2 o'clock in the morning, they come back, and then there they are again, causing a disturbance. So, you know, I'm asking this council, you have that law in place, just activate that police commission and start advertising for those commissioners, because I believe there's like 5 of them on there. And those background checks, they said it takes over 2 years. I don't agree with that. We have a background investigation office back here. It's just a simple process. I don't know why they're making it so entailed to get a federal background check. And then the other thing is the money. They didn't know who was supposed to fund it, and police department said it wasn't within their budget. Direct them to put it in the budget. All the other programs pay for their committee members, their commission members, their board members. All they need to do is program that in their budget and get this police commission going. So, you know, if you want to address the problem on violence and handling these complaints properly, activate that police commission. And, you know, the other thing too, I text a couple of you people about the civil rights office. Russell made a motion back in May to start organizing the civil rights office because there's several issues coming down. And here we are. You know, that was done in May. Where's the follow-up on it? Those things should be asked. Where's the follow-up on the civil rights office? But anyway, I apologize if I sound frustrated. But you know, when I reach out to you people and I ask you for help, and I don't hear nothing happening, yes, it does bother me. I voted. Everybody votes. I voted for you people to make good decisions on behalf of my family, on behalf of my relatives, on behalf of every tribal member around here. Now, you know, you need to set your ego aside and pop your bubble in your head and get down to studying those laws and make them work. If they're not working, amend them so that they can work. But, you know, the other thing is that courthouse. There's another issue going on with that courthouse, so I'm not going to address that this time. But I'm only here because, you know, I told the chairwoman, I said, meet me down there, we're going to bring this up. But anyway, I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to me and listening to a concern that's out there that's been sitting there for a long, long time. And, you know, let's get something done about this commission and all these complaints so it can be done. People can move on. The issues will, you know, be resolved. Make the laws better on what's working and what's not working. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Lost our quorum, Russell.
Lost our quorum.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I was one that received a call earlier. And usually I have my phone off during council meeting, and she did text me about the civil rights office, see what the status is on that. I think I asked prior to this particular meeting about the status of that, or who's working on that, but I just wanted to, you know, I'm one that was either called or texted earlier when she mentioned the council, so I just wanted to acknowledge that.
Okay.
So I guess what happens now, we don't have a quorum.
Well, I guess we
can try to find a quorum.
We can break for lunch.
I thought the AG was supposed to put up that civil rights office. We put him on task for that.
I'm not sure who we put in charge of that, but I see we have a Attorney General on the agenda, so hopefully we get a report at some point. I know he's been emailing you guys for reports, but I have to again be forgiven. I can't read reports right now.
Pam?
Madam Secretary, can you look in the May minutes and go back to when Russell made that motion for that civil rights office? And maybe see who we directed
I just sent it to the treasurer and HR.
in that motion?
The motion exit. I sent it to them too. The treasurer and HR.
So how does this motion read? While she's looking for that, Chairman, can you kind of give me a brief on why the police commission was dismantled or why it was taken out or how that came to be?
They always had a problem with, like what Valerie was saying earlier, they always had a problem with the background checks, and they were basically not being able to get quorums, and they didn't really have any power to do anything. The main thing they should have been doing is been able to review commission cards and making sure that these police officers are basically doing what they're supposed to be doing to address any complaints and that process, and that the commission wasn't given the authority to do what they needed to do as far as being a police commission. And then the ordinance was never changed from the judiciary and given that duty to the police commission. So it basically just sat there and listened to people's complaints without any power. So that was the whole issue for many years. And so finally, at the end, there's some of the council people thought that the police commission wasn't active, so they dissolved the commission. Basically, that in a short version of it, that's kind of what happened. We got Daryl, and then we got the vice president that needs to say something.
I think that as a council, we should be able to do something. I've worked for federal programs in the past, and every time I threw my resume into USA Jobs, when I got the call that I was going to be employed. I think it took 3 business days for a federal background investigation to go through. And yeah, it was a simple process. And by the end of the week, they cleared me. So I don't know what would be any different from U.S. Forest Service to Rosebud Sioux Tribe, because we're both very strong and, entities. So you'd think that as a multi-million-dollar corporation such as the Rosebud Sioux Tribe, we would be able to make some moves, especially concerning our policing. I am thankful for the cops that we do have. I want to state that because I have to call them a lot. At the Veterans Honoring for Vietnam, I ran into a dispatcher and here she recognized my voice. So I'm thankful to the cops because I call them. I live in a community where, my town has a couple of places that, sell alcohol. So it's pretty hardcore. And I depend on that 30 minutes that they got to take from Rosebud to Irover, and, I'm always timing them because someone could die within that. So I'm thankful for the cops that we do have, but I'm always willing for something better to be done for us. So, thank you.
Nice. Kind of a answer to what Pam was talking about. When we had the police commission, and Scott was right, he said they had trouble getting background checks for people that wanted to be on there. And we thought that they should have just as strict of a background check as the police officers themselves. But that turned into a problem, getting them to clear the background. And then I think they were confused a lot of the time on what their duties were because they started trying to run the police department. And they started recommending who to fire and who to hire. And that couldn't happen. I mean, we couldn't have that. So it was just something that we tried our best to work with and have, but it just didn't work out. Different times, maybe 20 years later, today, maybe something like that would work. I don't know. But at the time, it sure didn't function like it was supposed to. It was sort of a nightmare. Just my thoughts.
They do offer training for commissioners. Justice. I was appointed on the commission at that time. I went down and went to training. And so the information that they give to you, you go through like a classroom setting, and they sit down and they explain all this through on what your authority is.
Yeah,
and so one of the things that it's just that the commission has more authority than the committee or board. But, that's delegated up to them. And so what happens is that, they go through the budget, they go through the complaints. And I know there was issues that was told to me about what happened with the last commission. But you know what? As long as you have them trained, they have the law background, there shouldn't be anything wrong with establishing that commission to make sure that they know what their authority is. When there's an issue going on with the police department, or an officer, then they have to have it in writing. And it doesn't happen just like that. I mean, you can evaluate the whole thing. If it warrants an internal affairs investigation, that recommendation is made. There's another agency that will come in and they will do the internal investigation. I know that because we sat in on several internal investigations that came down from Albuquerque. They brought the reports in on several incidences that happened. And reprimands, they make a recommendation on what kind of action to take against that officer. And those mental psychological evaluations, 3 officers, and we had that agreement with SGU. They did an excellent job. And now if you look at their records today, you'll know why. But these officers run around like they have a bubble on their head and they act like they're above the law. I have to say, you probably got a couple out there that are really respectful. But there's some others out there that I cannot believe what happens to their women out there when they're arrested. One came to me about 4 or 5 years ago and told me about it. It's a long-term opposite.
We're on the air, so I don't think we should be talking that.
But anyway, you know, these complaints have to be in writing, they need to be investigated. It's not done by the police commission, it's done by internal affairs. So, you know, they just need to know their roles and their training and their education. And I think it will work because, you know, where can people go? I mean, you go up here and it lays on deaf ears or it doesn't get prosecuted by the prosecutor here. So, you know, Aberdeen needs to come down as well and sit down with these officers. I mean, this commission. The Indian Department of Justice, they have a Department of Office of Civil Rights. Bring those people in and sit down and go through that training so that they will be well educated and they will be well trained to address these.
Let's break for lunch. So we lost our quorum. Hopefully we get it back after lunch. We'll come back at 1:30. Martha, did you want to say a prayer for us, for a real prayer?
Oh.
So 1:30.
1:30? 1:30. Council 1:30.
Hopefully we get it. Forgot to.